So yeah, just because you're in spiritual alignment doesn't mean everything's going to go smoothly. But the thing is another theory is maybe that was the alignment. So you were in alignment because you were out there to do all these missions that didn't end up benefiting you in a material way, but they made you a much stronger person and um, more educated and more wiser. And sometimes the people you're calling out eventually change. I mean, because they got put on the news and stuff for fraud and things like that. But once it hit about a decade ago, I stopped taking notice because, by then I was 26 years old. So, and then when I was 28 was the last time I set foot in a church. But, I've read the Bible, the whole Bible once since then, because I read it the whole thing 3 times before then, and I read certain books like hundreds of times because I had like Genesis, Exodus, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, Psalms, Proverbs, Ephesians, Ecclesiastes, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, 1 Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, and Revelations. Those were my favourites, and I was always reading them ever since I was a child. So, I've read those books many times. The thing is even like a couple of years ago when I was flatting with this, over a couple of years ago, because it's been like 2 years and maybe 5 months since I moved into the apartment where I'm at now, and this guy at the other place that said that he knew he had relatives from another branch of the same church that my relatives were in charge of, and they're like, oh, this person says that it might be a good idea to get a hold of you. They might have money for a house. And I thought to myself, yeah, but one, that means I'd be a guy who used to call them out and stopped. Like the last time I did was when I was like still at the church that I went to for 12 years, and that would have been like 2012, 2013, a long time ago. Now here he is accepting money for a house. That's if it's even true. Probably just a bribe. They say, oh, okay, we admit you're a nice person, but, and then they go and take it back and they say, no, you're not nice because if you, everyone's got a limit, so, everyone's got a limit, so you're capable of doing bad things. And I was like, even getting angry is a problem, but nah, I'm past it. I'm just explaining. Yeah, so sometimes, but I already know I'm going to become prosperous because 2012 I was questioning as to whether I'd ever be able to hold employment because I had a couple of jobs like 3 months, and one job was 6 months, but they were 3-month contracts. So I saw them out. But when it came to, I left school, I was failing school up until year 11. I was failing school, and then I stayed back in, I stayed back in 1 year in primary school, and then I passed it the second time around. I failed year 7 and year 8, but you could still go through anyway. And then year 9, year 10, I was passing, but then year 11 I failed, so I had to reset that again. And then year 12, year 13. Now when I reset year 11, I didn't stay back. Like I went into year 12, but I had to do year 11 standards for the things I failed, and I was doing year 12 the things that I passed at, and I had an excellence in Te Reo Māori and a excellence in performing arts, and had merit in maths, and I got achieved when it came to English. So you can say like these different people that screwed me over. Oh, hey, at least they met justice. Well, I didn't see it. I haven't seen it, and I don't really care because, well, one, they say that's when it truly happens, but I don't know because I haven't seen it. But I went no contact with my family back in 2020, so I was 32 years old at the time, and I hadn't seen it. Well, some people, but that's like, but not the ones that were like in high-ranking authority positions who were using it because they wanted me to admit how awesome they were, and I just stopped calling them out when I was like 24 years old. But I just know that I'm going to become prosperous. That school situation, that's the story of my life. That school situation, but I ended up graduating high school and then getting a bachelor's degree in Māori Studies, National Certificate in Youth Studies. Now I've got a certificate in Scrum Mastery and studying my cybersecurity. But no one's sticking their nose into sabotage things that I know of. So I already know I'm going to be prosperous. It's been promised. Like everything that happened, all those things, all those occupations that I was dreaming of when I was back in 2012, I've actually done them now that it's 2024. And I forgot all about it until like 2022. I remembered it for like a year or two, but then the rest of the time I'd forgotten about it. And then I bumped into it again because I had journaled it down back in 2012, and I bumped into it again. It was like 2022. And here's the thing. Whether it be 3-month contracts or 6-month contracts, or the two positions where I worked for 3 years, and I did, you put all these things together. By the time it was 2022, or that's when I remembered about it, that's when I bumped into my writing again. I had actually done all those things. And back in 2022, I was having these dreams. I still have dreams, and I write them down. That I had I was always thinking, like, what the hell is it 3 for? I mean, I want one. I want one partner. Make it work. But 2024, I bumped into one of those 3 women. And I had never met her before, but I met her in 2024. We didn't last, but I know that I'm going to have kids, and it's been revealed to me that that I'm going to become prosperous, and so will they, and so will my grandchildren. Yeah, I already know it's going to happen. And if that was true, what that guy was suggesting about like 2 years ago about getting back in contact for, I wouldn't want to take any money or any house anyway, because obviously there'd be a whole bunch of strings tied to it. Having to admit so-called inferiority and all sorts.